Hello there everybody and welcome to Map the Dragon Railways, and today in this video I'm going to be restoring a old Triang tanker wagon. So I got this in my Rocket Railways box. If you saw my video in December last year, where I took out and showed you what I got in an entire box that cost a tenner, and in there was this tanker, and I think it's nearly fine. But it's missing, I don't know if you can make it out, it's just missing the top there. And I think it just needs a clean. So it doesn't need lots of work to get it back on and into service. I guess other people might have used this, and took the tank out and used it as a fueling station or something. But seeing as I still like to use my older rolling stock in that, I'm going to make it, able to run again and look fairly decent. The couplings are a bit rusty, but I'm going to ignore that for now. I might come back to them later on at some point, but for now I'm fine with how they are. So yeah, I've got some other bits from the box. If you remember the little black wheel that I said was a bit like a little handbrake or something, I thought I could possibly use that on the top, as well as a tiny bit of fence, to act and look a little bit like a hinge. So I think it's actually going to end up looking more realistic than what it did originally. The top itself is going to be made of card and then these little bits glued on. And like I say, I'm going to take you to a sink and I'm going to wash this up and make it look a bit nice. So yeah, I think that's all I need to say here. So I'm just going to disassemble it and then take it to the sink. So to disassemble it, I'm not going to do it the whole process on camera, but you can see those two plastic clips. There's one on the other side as well. Basically that's holding on the whole tank itself. And I'll take that out just to make it a little bit easier for cleaning. Here we go, that didn't take long, only about 30 seconds, and greeted by a bit of rust on the chassis, but I'm not too fussed. A rather rusty weight, and this is the tank itself. So of course with the weight put away, I'm going to clean the chassis and the body. So instead of going to a sink, I just filled up an old ice cream tub that was put in the recycling bin, so I'm just giving this a little use. I never thought that in my entire time in YouTube that I would ever do a video where I'm washing up, but here we are. So this is just warm soapy water in here, and I've got the body and the chassis, and I'm just going to soak them in there for a bit. I'm going to try and submerge the tank. I've actually restored one of these wagons before, but the one I done was much older. So I'm just letting some of the air out of the tank, so it, stays underwater for a bit. And now I'm just going to introduce a toothbrush, and I'm going to use washing up liquid because that's to hand, but you can use something like hand soap and all that. Oh, I've got a couple of bubbles there. And what I'm just going to do is just scrub it with the toothbrush, and I can already see this soap's looking a little bit horrible, but basically just go like that with it. And yeah, it doesn't look nice, but hey ho, I'm gonna leave that there and let the soap do some magic. You can probably see here that the tank's got plenty of water in it. I'm just gonna let that float in there quickly whilst I load up the toothbrush. This is of course an old one. I'm not using my main toothbrush, and I deeply recommend you do the same if you do something like this. This method I use for cleaning all my rolling stock as well. It doesn't seem to, if you're careful enough, it doesn't seem to shred all the paint marks. See, like, only here where there isn't its original paintwork, but that wasn't there originally, so I know that's fine. Now that one's done, I can see that's finished, the chassis, that's all, you know, everything's come off it. The soap just disappeared, you see. I'm just gonna washing it up, and it's just general and easy and all that, and it's as simple as that. So I'm just gonna put this on a towel and wait for it to dry. Yeah, sort out this tank itself, and it's already looking 10 times as good as it originally did, so I'm pleased with that. I think that's it, so I'll just try and drain what's in this one. There we go. And I don't know if you can tell, but that water is looking a bit more grey than it did to start off with, so you know, that means it's done its job and cleaned some up. So I'm going to leave this in a window to dry, and I'll join you back on the work desk where I shall make all the parts for this tank. What I'll do is try and make the top off camera, and then do the rest on camera. So the body is now basically dry, and I do apologise, I'm using this as a work mat. My actual cutting mat is holding some other projects at the moment, and all I'm going to do is some painting. I did cut a circle for the top. I definitely need to go back to circle cutting school, but you know, it'll do for what I want, and I'm sure it won't look terrible when it's running around the layout behind a loco. So I'll just pop that aside, because I got a bag of things from the Rocket Railways box. You see that wheel I was on about earlier, and I got a bit of fence, and that was a bit that snapped off. And if it wasn't for this tanker that they supplied me with, I don't think I'd have a job for it. Well, I'm actually going to put the wheel away for now, because the wheel is already painted black, and I'm going to fit all this together and then paint the circle black. And yeah, so I need to find a cut that looks alright. Do you know what, I'm half tempted to go over the whole thing, but let's try and be a bit more, I don't know. And do you know what, after all that fiddling, I'm still convinced that just one whole thing across the top would probably look better, so I'll go with that. So let's do that then. You know, I'm really good at time saving for YouTube, aren't I? So yeah, that'll do. So I'm just gonna glue it on. I bet the glue's jammed itself on. Yeah. So basically what I'll do is I'll glue this plastic on the cardboard in the centre, and then I'll be back. So this little component here, the glue's basically dry now, so I just need to get my paintbrush, a nice soft one, and I got this paint, it come from a Home Base, that's the one. So I'm just gonna dampen the brush and just put it on. Simple as that. And it's very cheap, because you can just use leftover packaging and just a random piece of plastic. That's all I've done here. So anyone can do this really. It's just if you can cut a circle. That's what takes the most skill. At least for me, because I'm not very good at cutting circles. But yeah, that looks alright. I'm going to use the lid of poly cement to try and wedge it out of place. There we go. And that's it. So I just got to wait for that to dry, and then I'll be back. So here we go, this little black dot on your screen here. Basically dry. There's only a little bit of paint still wet on it, and I'm rather impatient. So I'm just going to get that little wheel out, and you can probably make it out there. If it focuses, yeah, it's on focus. I'm going to have it the side where it's black, and yeah, just had a notification that Hornby have shared my one of my Instagram stories. Oh yeah, I've never actually said this on YouTube. Roger Bay now has an Instagram account. If you do want to follow it, it's for all the layouts and micro layouts, and you can see some things on there that I haven't yet announced on the channel and all that. If you do want to check it out, it is literally called the Roger Bay. I've had the account for many years, but never actually branded it up and wanted to get it far. But now I decided it's time to make a channel that will go fairly far on Instagram and all that. You'll see, well, at least get a few hundred followers on it, and so yeah, if you want to go on it, then feel free. You are more than welcome. I'm just gonna really badly do that. There we go. I'm gonna bring the camera up close, and then you can have a good look at what I've just done. And it's as simple as that. A circle of cardboard, a bit of fence glued on top, that painted into a matte black, and then stick a wheel on top. And basically what will happen is it will go and be glued on the top of that, and then I can reassemble the whole thing. I might even glue the weight down, and yeah, that's a completed wagon. It's very simple, isn't it? So the wheel is still drying, but like I said earlier, I'm really impatient, so I'm just going to put some poly cement on the top here, and then glue it on, and hopefully it shall look okay. It will probably look better than what it would have done originally. I hope it does, seeing as I have actually done some work for a change. There we go. And just put the pin through, and helps keep the tube clear. The metal tube on here basically don't work, so that's why I'm not using it. I'm going to try and be like a surgeon, which would be deadly. You don't want me as a surgeon. If you see me as a surgeon, run. Right, just lining it up the best I can. Yeah, and I think that is the best I'm going to have it. And there you go. You know what? That looks rather nice, I think. I know there's a bit of cardboard visible, you know, you can't, it's not painted black, but when that's whizzing around a layout, you can't tell. It's a very cheap method to fix and get a wagon up and running. So I've just picked up this chassis, and I got the weight, and as I said, I was going to glue the weight on, wasn't I? So that's something else I was going to do, but I almost forgot to. I'm just going to use poly cement because I don't want to have to heat up the glue gun or anything. As long as it tacks it into place lightly and stops it from rattling a bit, then I'm happy. And there's a nice thin layer of poly cement, everyone's favourite plastic gluing friend. Poly cement is really nice, but the annoying thing is the whole way it bonds, you know, bonds plastics and that together is by actually melting the plastic a little bit, which isn't as nice, because if you keep making mistakes, you'll just end up making the plastic disappear. So that should hopefully dry and, you know, keep it in place, even though there's these plastic lugs that hold it in place, but I've made it extra secure. And the body just goes on really easily, actually. It's got these clips here on either side, and it'll just go in like that. I'm just going to do it at a slight angle, and that's literally it. That's all in. And yeah, that is a completed tanker wagon kit. So I think we better have a look at it on the layout and see what it looks like. Not run a train or anything, but just see what it looks like down on the layout. So yeah, and here we have it, the Shell BP tanker wagon down on the layout. And yeah, I think it looks rather nice now. Yeah, it's old and it shows its age, but to be honest, I'm rather fond of it. In fact, if I move your camera, and you might look over that, I'm just going to zoom in. Half poking out is the tanker wagon I reviewed last year, and basically, I think that's near enough the same as this one, really. It's just that this one doesn't have all its fancy wiring around. So, yeah, it does look rather similar, actually, looking at it. So, yeah, the only difference I can see on moulding from a distance is the other one has, like, banding round. But, yeah, it looks extremely similar, doesn't it? But, yeah, it looks rather nice. I'm quite pleased with this little project. And it's something that's really easy and cheap to do. It's an old wagon from a box I got for £10 full of other stuff. So, you know, this probably cost me a matter of pence if you split everything up. So yeah, it was a good value, I think. And then, of course, it's just a bit of cardboard and a couple other bits glued together from the fence and some glue I already had and paint I already had. And from that box, I also got this lady here and her moped. I call her Gladys. Gladys and her moped. Anyway, that's, you know, mucking about aside. So yeah, it looks rather nice. You've got, like I say, that's the most work I had to do to it, really, is add a new top, and it looks alright. So yeah, I'm quite pleased. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. Comment down below, would you do anything like this? Have you done something like this? What have you restored? Or just say hello. And share this video with your friends who may like to see a restoration video or something. How to clean some rolling stock or something. And sharing is caring, helps get the channel out there and spreads it around, and helps me out a great deal. And finally, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me, and it'll help the channel grow. And you can catch up if you press the bell icon. You can get notifications for every video I make, which comes out every so often. And if you are subscribed, you get to see things like reviews, maintenance, this sort of stuff, restorations and workbench sort of things, and general other videos. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio for now.